Right, hello everybody, and welcome back to a brand new season, season 5 of A Wee Touch of Madness. And my special guest is I have two members of Protect Your Heart to celebrate 1 whole year since they were last on the show. Now, if anybody saw that episode, you might remember that we challenged to do the bomb chili sauce, but unfortunately we all pussied out. So instead, I'm going to be doing something else. Every time that these guys piss me off, I'm going to be doing something else, which, knowing these cunts, they're going to piss me off every fucking 5 minutes. Now, I'm also joined with my co-host, Savage Panda, who also does his own music and does his own radio show as well. Right, Savage, do you want to introduce yourself quickly?
You already did it for me, didn't you?
Absolute cuntbag. Right, now, because I have already spoken to Protect Your Heart before, I don't actually have any questions lined up because for me, it was absolutely pointless, the fact that they just kept going completely off script. So I'm just going to go with the flow, see how the conversation goes. So guys, how have you been since the last time you were on?
It's been a wild year. We released our debut record in October. So that was, and we've been playing a lot. So we've been really busy, and we're already starting on record number 2. So we're stoked on that. Just keeping the train going.
Yeah, played our first show. We have our first headline show coming up in a month from now at the Viper Room in Hollywood. So that's gonna be sick. And yeah, just last couple weekends back in the studio recording finals for the single that's coming out first, which we're aiming for February. So hopefully February there'll be new music out there.
Hopefully for February there'll be new music out there. Now, obviously, I follow you guys on social media, on all the social media, so I'm kind of up to date with what you're doing. And by the way, I am eternally grateful that you gave me a copy of your album a week before it was released, so I could listen to it exclusively. I'm so fucking happy about that. That actually made my whole week.
I'm grateful you allowed me to play you on my radio, which was on Friday.
Yeah,
I played one of your newer songs and one of your older songs, but I haven't been able to stop listening to it. My 12-year-old son was trying to stay awake to meet you guys because he fell in love with your music as well. And I'm surprised I haven't found out about you before, but you've only been around just over a year. But honestly, Lawrence told me about you guys, said I was like co-hosting. I listened to you guys straight away, and like I think it was Matthew who I spoke to on Instagram, it took me back to being about 15, 16 years old again.
Yeah.
It made me want to pick up a skateboard and just go skating.
Love that.
And the scream, I want to hear more of that.
Yeah, record 2 has a hell of a lot more.
See, I have to disagree. I have to disagree with you there, Kurt. I mean, I don't want to hear any more new music from these guys because I'm still in love with this album and I can't stop listening to it myself. I actually don't want to listen to anything new yet because I'm not done with this album.
So we'll give you an advance copy of this next song.
Yeah, you give me an advance copy, then I might change my mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I can't put my finger, like you guys said in the interview before, what genre you are, because I hear so much stuff that I grew up with. I mean, I'm only 34, but there's so much stuff that I grew up with within the punk scene, pop punk scene, and you hear so much of it. Not just that, the post-hardcore scene, especially with some of the riffs. And all I can say is you guys are killing it.
Thank you, man.
It's been actually pretty rad to, like, we all came from that scene, and then we branched off and did a bunch of other genres too. And I think bringing all that back together, it didn't just make us rewrite what we had been used to. It's like adding some unique little flavors in there with some EDM and, like you said, post-hardcore, a little bit of metal. Like, we all grew up listening to all that shit. And then I even grew up listening to a lot of like female diva singers. And that's how I got a lot of my influence from, is like, but one of the best singers of all time, Whitney Houston. Like, I used to love listening to her because damn, she can sing. And so like,
Kind of explains your side a little bit.
What's up?
It kind of explains your girly side a little bit.
Well, it's only going to get worse just for you. I pull influence from just about everything. Like, I listen primarily to like metal and hardcore and punk, but like just as much these days I'm listening to like some country stuff and some like normal pop shit, just because the vocals are so good how could you not be inspired as a songwriter, you know?
Yeah, and like a lot of our writing process, like Jake and I listen to very different things, but they're all within like the scene universe. So like when it comes to like the guitar stuff, like I'll write super simple, like major key, happy sounding stuff, and then we'll get together and we'll figure out like how to make it, you know, heavier or more like metal influence or whatever. And it's really like, I think what you're hearing is probably the combination of like me coming from pop punk. Like I never got really into metal when I was growing up, and he was mostly metal and very little like on the pop punk side of things. So it's just kind of like us fusing what we grew up on together, that I think makes it unique. And then I think just the fact that we're all leaving EDM production and DJing and stuff like that to do this instead. So that also plays a big like piece in how we produce the songs, how we like once we get an original like, you know, guitar take in the box, then we take it and we add like synths and little effects and like all this extra like production stuff that we learned by doing that. And I think that kind of the sum of those individual parts is the ultimate product that kind of leaves us in a place where we're like, yeah, we don't know what genre this is. And apparently the internet doesn't either, because we've been called pop, we've been called punk, we've been called metalcore, we've been called like all kinds of things. And like when I read those things, or like I see like reaction videos and stuff, and being called a metalcore band I'm just like, I've never even listened to a metalcore band in my life that I'm aware of. Like, I don't even know what that means, but it's kind of interesting to see like that all of these things kind of touch everyone else's like sensibilities in a slightly different way.
If you ever listened to Brim of the Horizon in the old days, that's what metalcore was classed as, but then they evolved from that.
I only got introduced to Bring Me the Horizon in like 2019. So I started with like Sempiternal and That's a Spirit and Ammo. I love Ammo.
Don't get me wrong, they're good. Some of the newer stuff, but the older stuff is where it's at. And I can say that because I was actually on stage with him my metal days.
Hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
Like, I know this is a sore subject for many, but I grew up like, well, not grew up, but when I was heavier, like getting into the heavier scene. I mean, that was when like As Lay Dying hadn't really broken out yet. Norma Jean hadn't broken out yet. Like they were just coming up. Like Oh Sleeper, all those bands that like they're just shredders and such good metalcore music that like that was what was my introduction. Like Chiodos, like before they blew up, Yesterday's Rising in the post-hardcore scene, like all these other bands that I watched kind of grow and blossom and like took me on a journey with them. So like that's near and dear to my heart. I love that stuff. And it just as much as I love the skate punk days.
I was gonna say I'll mention one group that's gonna make you laugh, Broken Side.
Yeah.
We all went through that phase. No, just looking like, what the hell?
Yeah, it wasn't just a phase, Mom.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to outside of like the pop punk stuff and like, you know, the Blinks, Sum 41s, Green Days, Newfound Glories of the world. Like, I also listen to oh boy, I also listen to.
Here's the special thing that I mentioned to everyone before Kean carries on, because obviously
taking a shot every time he says Blink.
Because obviously I don't have any of the bomb chili sauce, so this time I decided every time these guys piss me off, I was going to take a shot of rum. Bottoms up.
This is gonna fly off the rails so fast. But anyway, what I was saying is
a 2-hour podcast turns into 6 hours of just falling over and yelling at each other over nothing. We're gonna sound like an Always Sunny episode, like in 5
projectile vomiting onto the camera.
He's already on shot number 2. We're pissing him off quick.
Actually, I'm already on shot number 6.
Oh boy.
It's been 6 minutes into this damn fucking podcast. I love it.
That's because before we record this, you pointed out the fact the famous Stars and Straps, which is related to Travis Barker and obviously Blink-182.
You're a cunt.
But no.
Hey, you might as well, Lawrence. You might as well pour a double. Pour a double there, bud.
Pour a double it is.
Just make it as strong as possible. No, but like there were.
How's that?
That works. Have fun with that.
That was a shot. You told me that was a Scottish shot. So you're lacking right there. You need to fill that up more. Man
Oh
up.
my god.
Man up.
Fuck off.
You know, it's if anyone who's watching this did not watch the first episode, or any of our comments to each other since then, it's all been how do we piss off Lawrence talking about Blink-182 more.
Yeah, that's it.
My God, no! All right.
They had
I'm
the
not.
snipe for it.
I'm not going to take another shot straight away. I'm going to actually wait a couple of minutes because
away.
it's not sitting right.
Well, that's the thing. Tom DeLonge even come back to Blink-182 recently.
He did. It's like Jesus coming back to Earth.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Right. I'm just trying to steer.
Hang on. Please don't turn the lights off and carry me home.
Lawrence is probably not even gonna be able to be carried anywhere. He's just gonna sleep right where he's sitting.
At least it would be sleeping in the graveyard like last time.
Yeah.
Right. Now, guys, I do actually have a question. Obviously, over the last year, since you were last on the show, you've released your album, you've performed live a few times, and you've done like some other interviews and all that. So I have to ask, out of all the other interviews and podcasts that you have been on, may have been on, what has been your most favorite one to do, and why is it a wee touch of madness?
To be straight honest,
did you say least favorite?
Fuck off.
I think that maybe a shot is in order. Oh man, it's over.
I don't know.
This is so great.
Hey, you know what? You know why this will be my favorite podcast is because it's going to be the shortest one. We're not going to make it very far.
I don't know how much of that I can actually show on YouTube though. That's the thing.
Put it on OnlyFans. You could use some content, I'm sure. Something different than what you normally post.
I'll double down on my Lawrence subscription.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans. Watch me get pissed talking to people.
On the TV behind you, is that our previous interview?
Yes, it is.
All right. I can tell because I'm wearing the same overshirt that I wear pretty much 8 out of 9 days.
I was actually wondering how long it would take for you guys to realize that that's actually your last interview playing.
It's super blown out, so I can't really see much. But then the checkered flannel just caught me off, and I'm oh, that's mine.
The green flannel is like an extension of Matt's actual physical body.
Just leave it on it. It's just absorbed.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to adjust with the lighting on it, so I don't know what was going on now. I think I've kind of fucked it, so I just decided to leave it.
Well, I guess if like it just wigs out and just goes to your other porn channels, then like the audience wouldn't really notice it right away, so you'd have time to recover.
No. My porn channels are on my phone. But you didn't answer my question.
Yeah.
There's actually so what I love about some of the interviews we've done are like I like yours because we just chop the shit up and just make fun of each other and just you call us dirty cunts for 30 minutes and we're having a blast. And so like I love the salty side of you because you're just like the kind of guy I'd love to go out and have a beer with at any pub anywhere at any time.
The kind of guy that thinks mayonnaise is spicy.
What?
That's what the key was last time. If you remember last year, I turned the key a dead face and I said, "You look like the type of white guy that would find mayonnaise spicy."
That I remember that. That's fucking funny.
I'll never forget that one. Never forget it.
I said we need to get you guys over here for a gig.
Yes, definitely need to get these guys over here. Front row tickets, VIP, free entry for me.
Yeah, of
front row tickets to a crowd of 5 people. It's not hard to achieve.
We'll let you be our roadie for free too.
And I would even set up a live show so we can do a live interview before you go on, and then do a live stream of the show as well. Do a live stream of your set.
Free promo CDs or any free like flyers advertising who you are. We'll talk after. We'll set it up, and I can try and distribute them and try and get you more known in the UK.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we would love to come. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I've seen some videos on like Kerrang's thing where they do live in the K pit, and those are all over there, and they look fucking awesome. They look like so much fun. It's just like a tiny little, like a room like this big, and they cram as many people as they can in there and just let it go.
What's tight is Germany and UK are our second and third biggest markets.
Are they?
So yeah, that where I think we're ready to come now. Let's do it.
I think you are ready.
I think we have a big, for some odd reason, we also got a big one in like Switzerland or Sweden or something like that recently. It was like, it all of a sudden, like one day our Spotify stuff jumped up to like, there were like hundreds of monthly listeners, and I think it was Switzerland. I'm like, where did that come from? Like, how does that happen?
You know, the funny thing is, I'm actually already imagining the whole promo thing for when you guys come over to the UK. Because obviously, when us Brits go over, and throughout your American history, it was always the British are coming, the British are coming. I'm now imagining it as the colonials are coming. Shit.
Yeah. Or your other favorite C word.
The cunts, the colonial cunt bags are coming.
I just want you to get me a shirt for my birthday. It says cunt bag, and I'll gladly wear it the entire time I'm there.
You've got a fucking deal, my friend. You've got a fucking deal. That could work.
And if we do a bomb over there, which we should do while we come, it'll be protect your buttholes, and we can market an after show that way.
I don't think we can do that in a gay bar, though.
Yeah, that might be taken the wrong way.
Might be taken the wrong way or the right way, depending on whatever way you're inclined. Me,
I feel
after
like,
one too many shots of rum, I'll go anywhere.
I feel like I've heard this joke before. Full half-ass or full ass, I believe, was the context.
Yep. Always go full ass.
You've got to go full ass. If you don't go full on, there's just no point. Go hard or go home, and I'm going to go in hard.
Yeah.
And like my old producer said, if you're going to kiss it, might as well fuck it.
Exactly.
Uh,
Go all in, baby.
Go all in. No lube. Oh, what the fuck? I'm going to lay off the rum now for a bit, I think.
Someone bring this man some water.
Oh. Sorry, I've got a bottle of Coke here next to me to get my sugar levels back up.
That'll work. What are you drinking, Panda?
I drink WKD.
Because he's a woman.
What is that?
Yeah, what?
You guys have Smell of Fun in box like this. But it's blue flavor. It's blue flavor.
Do you have the same rules that Smirnoff Ice does, where if you just hide a Smirnoff Ice anywhere, people that discover it have to drink it on the spot and get iced?
No, but I did have an American friend that told me about that did that to me with the whole pack. And I was confused. And she went, we do it because we have American air bases where I live. So,
maybe we'll just start the tradition over there, but with your drink. I forget what it's called. The UBO, or I don't know what it's called.
WKD.
The
WKD, yeah.
The UB40s.
The UB40s. The Moby Blues.
You got deed.
I don't know. I think we should do it with rum. I think that could be a bit more exciting.
You got to chug an entire fifth of rum if you find it. Straight to the face.
I don't actually understand that reference. How much is a measure? Like a fifth? Like
a fifth is like that bottle, and then we call the big bottles with the handles on them. That's a handle.
So a fifth is 500 mils.
Yeah.
Is that 1/5 of a whole? Like
I don't know. To be completely honest, I don't understand the measurement either. That's just always what I've heard it called, so that's just what I call it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
when I used to buy whiskey, I'd buy the liter. I'd go to Trader Joe's to get the liter bottle. That's because the normal grocery stores don't carry those.
Okay. I've got to say, this has been quite a weird interview so far because we've barely spoken about your music.
It's funny. This is actually how most of our interviews go, because like we're not just begging to talk about ourselves the whole time. We just want to shoot the shit and make new friends and just hang. And like, so if we talk about music, amazing. But if not,
there you go, everybody. You heard it there first. The Americans, they're easily amused. As if we didn't already.
Doesn't take.
You guys are more than pop punk and metal and hardcore. You like the EDM and stuff like that. Have you ever thought of fusing the two?
We're actually fusing, and well, we're doing a collaboration with. If you had heard the song "Fireproof" off our first record, that originally was an EDM song that I wrote with a guy named High Society. His name's James, and he goes by High Society. And that's actually how I got connected to the rest of the guys, because they've worked with him in other capacities. And now for record 2, we're going to do a collaboration from scratch with him. That's a full on, like, more screamo, little bit post-hardcore EDM style track. So we're actually halfway through that song. I wrote the vocals, most of them already, and the guys are working on fixing up the instrumental to make it better. And it's going to be great. We're really stoked, because James is legit. He's so much fun to work with.
Now, everybody,
sorry, how passionate you were about that stuff of music and putting that behind for your heart. But I think you should really keep them EDM roots as well and put a little bit in there sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of our production process too, is like we learned how to produce in a very specific way to make the styles of dance music that we were, and we're still producing that exact way for the band. It's just now we're throwing in guitars and bass and live drums and stuff. But there's like the next single that we're working on has something that I'm sure in the UK you guys are very familiar with, but like an amen break that's frequently used in drum and bass. Like the basis of drum and bass music is the amen break, right? So like we're like throwing stuff like that in because we love it. And like I listen to drum and bass probably as much, if not more, than stuff like that's similar to what we're doing. So and Anthony's the same way. Like when we're listening to music, it's either like stuff like what Protect Your Heart sounds like, or like straight up drum and bass. Some like other kind of bass music stuff, dubstep and things like that a little bit, but not as frequently anymore. But that was really like part of the reason that we started doing the band is we had been producing dance music for so long, 5 to 10 years, each of us individually, and DJ and stuff. And we all kind of, oddly enough, at the same point in time, kind of got bored of doing that, and kind of like the scene of that world changed pretty significantly. And we just kind of like, what else can we do? And that was kind of how Protect Your Heart was born. But then we only knew how to produce in that style. So just naturally it led to the way we do things now, which is producing rock music as if it were dance music. And I think that's, that's something that's never going to leave, just because that's how we know how to do it. But I think as we move through like new music and stuff, the electronic elements will probably come through, electronic and hip hop and stuff like that. Those elements will probably come through even more.
Yeah.
I really genuinely find it like your music is, how you explaining that even more. I find that even like interesting, because a couple of groups I listen to from America, they were kind of punky bands and stuff like that, and they weren't getting the money, they weren't getting. So then they decided to go to the darker side of rap, bits of that, and sort of EDM, and it's really worked for them. But it's good to see something on the other scale where someone's at and now going 2 bands. So it's nice to see
the like, I think where we're all coming from when we decided to like change it up is like, and I still see this happening today, where it's like there are new songs in the genres that we were working in coming out, like, now, that sound like they could have been made 5 years ago. So like, what's the point if things aren't becoming better or more interesting or whatever? Like, if I could have made something today that I could have made 5 years ago, like, that's not, as an artist, that's not exciting to do. And what we're doing with Protect Your Heart and why we started it was to like find that excitement in creating again and being like, I don't know what I'm doing here, I'm going to figure it out. That was this whole record, everything about it, the songs, the visuals, the videos, the graphics, everything you see connected to Protect Your Heart is literally us figuring it out. Like, it's not, we have no experience doing things to this degree at this level prior to this. So it's literally like, and we're doing it all ourselves. So we're kind of just flying by the seat of our pants and like being like, yeah, it's cool, works for me. Like if that's kind of how we all feel, then we move along and do the next thing. So
well, and despite all that, like we kept it really simple when we started this record. It was make cool shit with cool people, and every song's got to have a breakdown, and that was our only 2 rules. So like I think we're in a good space if we just keep it simple.
And now with that, we have now actually reached the halfway point of the show. So for everybody at home, if you've seen the last few seasons, you kind of know what that means. That means we are going to play a music video for all of you at home. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to this on Spotify, the song will be linked in at the halfway point and it will just transition over. Oh, lovely, you won't even fucking notice. So, guys, what music video do you want us to play for the people at home so that way they can get an idea of the message you're trying to put out there? Your favorite song that you want us to play?
Well, you did Never Gonna Leave You last time. So I think this time probably Fireproof is the one that most people seem to have a good reaction to. And I think it's a good kind of indicator in the direction that things will probably proceed with new music.
Fireproof. Right, okay, so that was the suggestion there. Unless, Matt, do you have a suggestion?
I'm down with Fireproof. Let's do
Fireproof.
it.
Okay. Right, everybody. We are going to play Fireproof by Protect Your Heart for all of you lovely, lovely people out there, for you to sit back, enjoy, listen to these guys, listen to the fucking amazing talent that they bring out from their mouths to your fucking eardrums. Here we go.
Try to tear me at the seams. You might think the sky is falling, but nothing can bury me. The odds might be stacked against me. I might lose on every single try, but I'm not afraid to roll the dice one more time, singing. I'm fireproof, I'm not going down, and I won't be moved. I'm not going down, 'cause I'm fireproof. Baby, I've got nothing to lose. Yeah, I'm fireproof, and I'm not going try to shoot me down, but I'm not going down without a fight. You might try to pull me under, but nothing can take my pride, 'cause I'll live like I'm not scared. This is the last time I care. I'm not afraid to roll the dice just one more time, singing.
that would do.
That was the best song I've ever heard.
That was absolutely fucking incredible. In fact, the last time that I had Enoch Ex Mortis on, I tried to do something a little bit different. I had Spotify playing in the background, and then I was going to try and do a transition through the recording, like having his song come up actually at the halfway point. It didn't quite work out that way because there was like a 5-second delay between him hearing the song and me playing it. So he was always 5 seconds ahead of him singing along to his own fucking song, and it just looked fucking weird. So I decided just to I'll just do how I did before. Now, everybody, obviously, as you know, it has been a little while since the last time since my last episode of doing the show. So the sound quality may not be 100% amazing. It's something that, obviously, as you know, I will work on through each episode to make sure it comes out better. So please bear with me. Don't hate me. Don't try and cancel me because I will just come back.
Come back stronger, harder,
Come back stronger, harder, meaner, calling more people cunt bags.
Yeah, more cuntier.
More cunt muffins everywhere and everywhere.
Can't avoid them.
Can't avoid the cunt bags.
Squat waffles.
Cunt waffles. Spunk monkeys.
It just rolls off the tongue. It just
just works. It just works. As the great Todd Howard says, it just works.
I would say though, I cannot too young to know.
Oh hell yeah, love that song.
Yeah,
that song's fun to play live too.
Yeah, well, all of them, like even the 40, 45, 46 minute long, the actual album you put up. I was listening to that while I was face painting up, and pretty much that's what you've got on there. But to hear it all together is, I can't.
Yeah.
I personally can't love it. But I am going to be honest. I only found out about a couple of days ago when I Instagrammed you. So everything, and I can't stop listening. Honestly,
Dude, we're stoked on that. Like, yeah,
hurry,
super awesome.
If anyone at home hasn't listened to this album reintroduction, I'll have it linked down in the description so you can listen to it for all your listening pleasure. I've said listening quite a lot. I'm going to take a shot because I pissed myself off.
Yeah.
But I will have their album linked down in the description. I'll have all their socials linked down in the description as well, so you can check these guys out. They are definitely well worth a listen. And if you're in the LA area and you want to see them live, they are going to be playing at the
Viper Room.
The Viper Room soon. And they've also got a couple of other places lined up to play as well, if I read that right from your Instagram posts.
We have some things in the works, and new music, new shows. Viper Room is the one that we're focusing on for now. It's our first headliner, so we're giving it a good college try on promotion. So
that's good. And I've got to say one thing though, I do fucking hate you two, because usually if I'm gonna say I get at home, I'll have a couple of shots of rum to wind down. It will literally be only a couple of shots, not half the fucking bottle.
Hey, you
40 minutes.
You said yourself you already were 6 deep when we got on, so that's I can't take too much blame there.
He anticipated how mad he was going to be. How many times you're going to piss him off?
Yes, it was the warm up.
Mention something before recording. That's why the shots.
Yeah.
So if you mention something that's to do with a t-shirt or
well, then I think, Lawrence, just for your own health and well-being, I think we should probably just go on an hour-long diatribe about Blink-182 so you can finish that thing.
Yeah, that's gonna be one goal.
So what, Lawrence? What Blink-182 album is your favorite? Personally, I would say mine. It's hard to choose.
Oh, look at that! We just lost Kian.
Lawrence, fuck, marry, kill, Tom DeLonge, Mark Hoppus, Travis Barker. Ready, go.
That's a good question.
How do I mute you? There you go. Oh, look at that! We just lost Kian. He's raising his hand. How do I I don't know how to unmute you. There we go.
I do. So
Oh.
that bottle shouldn't be lasting much longer.
What bottle was finished?
He's gonna be so mad that he just butt chugs the rest of it to make it work faster.
Yeah. Take
Hey,
me
that
to
would-
the grave.
That would be that would be a YouTube first.
Yeah, I would give you a big tip.
Protect
Yeah,
your
you could-
heart. Protect your heart. No, protect my fucking liver.
Tip counter is going to be quite high.
Yes.
We should put a counter. Did we talk about that last episode?
We had a counter on the last episode, if you remember.
We
and
did,
we
okay.
played the whole music video because of how much you mentioned Blink 182.
Yeah, right when it hits the first chorus, you cut it out.
In fact, a counter just came up there. I think it was at 7.5 there.
Hey, and I can't take credit for all of them on the last time. That wasn't all me. I think Jake actually said it more than I did.
Yes, actually, yeah, if I do remember right, because I actually rewatched this episode last week. I was obviously getting myself ready just to see if there was any questions that I wanted to ask that I hadn't asked already, or if I had missed the opportunity to ask you last time. What shit? Why didn't I ask them that? So I rewatched the show a couple of times, and I had it written down everything I wanted to ask, and then I lost the list.
So then you're like, "Fuck it, we'll do a lot."
Classic.
So I was
Well,
like,
hey,
"Okay,
hey.
we'll just go for it."
you asked earlier why this one is our favorite podcast, and I the honest answer is it's easily the most memorable. I think we've quoted the previous podcast now on this podcast at least a handful of times, and most of the podcasts we've done, they're generally asking the same question, so I feel like I've said the same story 100 times, but nobody has called mayonnaise spicy. Nobody has given us threatened us for talking about Blink 182. No one's called us cunt muffins, so it's I would say easily the most memorable of the bunch.
Has anyone asked you that most important question that I asked you last time?
I think it was, "What are you seeing in the shower?"
Yes, it was that question. Has anyone had the balls to ask you that?
No,
You're the
no
only
one
one?
has. Yeah, you're
Because they're all pussies. Me, I don't give a fuck.
Are
it's
you
a
gonna
real
one up that today?
it's a real brain buster.
I am
Yeah,
going
you
to
got
one up.
your grand finale prepped.
I'm going to get. Give me a couple of minutes, and I'll think of my grand finale question.
Oh, wow, just off the cuff.
Oh fuck yeah! You know what I'm like. I don't hold back the punches. I just fucking go for it. If I'm having a good time, I'll keep going. If I see, especially with some guests that I've had on, if I see they get a little bit uncomfortable with what I'm saying and what I'm
Keep going.
asking, I keep going because fuck their feelings. They knew what they were getting into when they came on the show. And if you want to cancel me again, go ahead. I will just come back.
This is the thing. I have questions, but Loz asked me to obviously watch over the video, and most of my questions were answered. So,
Hey, if you have any more, we'd love to answer them. Yeah. By the way, your I don't know if it's your mic or something, but you cut out a lot. So if I miss anything, just repeat it or yell at me.
is that sounding better?
That's actually a
Yes.
lot better and a lot clearer. Yeah.
Hold it then.
Yeah, you have to hold it up, or actually get a microphone. That's an idea.
Well, the stand I got has a little extra attachment to hold the microphone.
You want to? Here, I have one for you. If you want to come pick it up real quick.
See,
No, when
Send it in the post.
Yeah.
we got to get you the Britney Spears.
The headset thing.
Yeah, I have one. I can give it to you. It's dope.
time. No.
Fuck me.
What time is it there? Like 3 p.m?
No, it's
almost
not.
midnight.
It's almost midnight over here. So for everybody at home, if you're unaware, obviously because of the time zones that I do, I always say to everybody, because obviously, as everybody knows, I interview a lot of people from around the world, from Canada, the United States, Honduras, Mexico, Australia, Thailand, Sweden, everywhere. So I always do it in UK time, so it's easier for me. So for at the moment, for these guys, it is almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. For me and Kurt, it's almost midnight. That is the dedication that I have. I will come on no matter what time it is to bring you this quality content.
And drink an entire bottle of rum while you're at
And
it.
drink an entire bottle of rum while I do it.
You don't have to feel as guilty. There's a better excuse of saying I drink a bottle of rum at night at 11 p.m. as opposed to like noon, you know?
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
it's
imagine
like the
imagine
equivalent
if
of
we were
like
doing
drinking by
this.
yourself in your closet, you know? But like, hey, we've all been there.
I drink by myself in my living room. Does that count?
Yeah.
Yeah. And with the conversation so far, I feel like I am on my own and I've been drinking. So
It's been picked up.
no, I'm not being picked on, not yet. I don't have any feelings for her.
I've made some good headway on this.
Oh, you're drinking as well. Oh, fuck me. I don't feel so lonely now.
I opened this 30 minutes ago, and now I'm getting close.
But you were drinking out of a paper cup. I thought it was a cup of tea or something.
Well, it's I'm at a hotel.
Right, guys. So obviously you've expressed a massive interest to want to come over to the UK and perform live for all of the UK audiences. Have you done much research into the nightlife in the UK? And if you have, where are some of the places that you would like to play?
My brother actually lives in Shoreditch, and I was over there last year. So I don't know what clubs are around there these days, but I mean, it looked like there was a lot going on. I don't know if that's like a cool part of the city or not, but
Shoreditch.
If you're London Shoreditch, then around them areas are the best place to gig, like Islington and places like that.
Sick.
There's a couple of cities you can go to as well. There's Glasgow, London, Birmingham if you're feeling brave and you don't want to get stabbed.
Dude, we live in LA, man. We have crazy shit going on here all the time.
Yeah, but you guys play with guns. Geezers over there, they play with knives. It's completely different. You won't see it coming. Unlike a gun going, I'm an American, I got a gun, bang, shit. Why is your head bleeding? Get up.
When I lived in Los Angeles for a couple of years, I was living in this city called Hawthorne, which is like in the kind of closer to like in between Compton and Inglewood. But like those areas are actually not too bad right now. I used to wake up and be like, was that gunshot or was that car exhaust? I'm not sure. So I'd play this game, like trying to figure out what it was.
Yeah, we hear that shit all the time, and it's like gunshot, car exhaust, firework. Which one is it? Which is the fireworks are actually more illegal than the guns, if you can believe it. So, it's a real toss up.
Yeah, I do believe it because it's America.
Yeah.
But that is actually one thing that's always confused me. Obviously, you in LA is the city of Los Angeles, right? This is something that's always confused me. Why do you refer to separate little areas within LA as a city itself?
So people call LA like LA County, they call it LA. And I think the honest reason is because like downtown LA, like nobody goes there. So there's actual city of Los Angeles, and then there's all the other like individual cities around it that are all within LA County. So LA County is massive. So there's all like I live in the Valley now, which is like over the hill from Hollywood where I was living. Hollywood's its own thing. West Hollywood's its own thing. Santa Monica's its own thing. Like they're all different.
North Hollywood.
Yeah, they're all different cities, but they're all within the larger LA County. So it's easier for us to explain to people I live in LA rather than like I live in Woodland Hills. Like you don't know what that is, right? Like that's a small little city inside of LA County, but it's still technically like LA proper to a degree.
County. I just thought it was just a city.
Well, that's the thing is like all of this stuff kind of, again, like if you go downtown, it will not feel like a city to you. Like it just doesn't. It's not like a city. Versus like if you go to San Francisco, right? Or you go to New York or London, like any of those like big cities, LA does not feel like that because everything's super spread out. So like the most city feeling part of LA is like West Hollywood, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another question for you. if say someone like me with my sense of humor and the way that I like to talk to people, how long do you think I would actually stay alive in America?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah.
The
No,
further
you-
downtown you go, you would be less. But if you're in some like Santa Monica, NoHo, kind of like those places, you would probably last a little bit longer.
You would do fine in the Midwest. You know,
Yeah,
people
that's
wouldn't
true.
be offended. People in the Midwest wouldn't be offended by you at all.
I have a lot of American friends, and I know I use the word cunt quite a lot, and I've been told I have to rein that in when I come to America. Like, cut.
Why have you
Yeah,
got to rein in the word cunt? Cunt is a wonderful word. I mean, cunt in word cunt is fucking amazing. Why cunt in reining it in? Those fucking daft cunts.
Yeah, people for whatever reason really don't like that word here. But like when I hear you guys or like Australians say it, it's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. Like I don't understand why it's offensive, because whatever. But yeah, it's fun. It's all in good fun. It all matters about intent, right?
Yeah,
It's how
intent's
you're
everything.
using it, not what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess. And if someone does call you a cunt, you can always hit back and say, well, that can't be true because I lack the warmth and the depth of the cunt.
Oh boy.
Well, you
I'm just as hairy, but I don't have the warmth or the depth.
the one that I say, I am, because I like to get bloody and abused.
And just like that, Kurt, I think you killed Matt.
When are you guys starting your stand-up routines?
Yes. Can you perform with us at our show?
This is me performing. This isn't even me performing. This is just me being normal. And I say my stand-up routine is just
Normal.
my life. It's just my life in
Yeah.
general.
I'm will get 4 drinks to me and put me at a show. That'd be even more funny.
Hell yeah.
One really random question from Andrew in LA. Something I know that's very famous, and you guys know of it, is the tree house.
That sounds familiar.
The tree. It is literally a tree house, but it's very big and well known.
Clearly
I
not.
have to look this up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
They're googling it.
Oh, in Hollywood?
I think it is Hollywood, yeah, or LA, yeah.
Yeah. This is,
Yeah.
This is
Treehouse
close.
rooftop?
This is close to where I used to live.
I was only going to ask if you knew it, if it was cool.
No, I've never heard of it, but it looks cool.
Now, Kian,
Yeah.
you are going to have to close all of those porn tabs because I saw the reflection in your glasses. You utter
Oh
cunt.
no. Oh no, what am I gonna do? Yeah, the place looks sick.
I think there was midget porn. I think I saw in your reflection. Pregnant midget porn as well. You like the space hoppers?
Lawrence, you don't know me at all.
That's
There's a
tame
lot-
for Kian.
It'd be like
Look at that
shagging
tree.
a space hopper.
It's Blink 182 anime.
Oh, you're an asshole.
It's too easy.
It's only this time. It's only this time you've actually
Sure.
got something to hit back at me at. Only this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Bombed
really
up.
searching for the long and Tom DeLong.
Oh, Matt, why don't you tell him your favorite new band and your band people, band members?
This is so stupid. Well, the other night we were on our band meeting and I took several edibles beforehand and it finally kicked in towards the end. So I made up a new band and I don't remember most of it actually, but there was like
Tim LaShort,
Tim LaShort was instead of Tom DeLong,
Jim Legweek.
instead of Tim Armstrong. Yeah, it was really dad jokey.
Yeah,
And
it was.
I didn't even get laughs from myself or the other guys. And then when they didn't laugh, I started laughing because I knew it wasn't funny to them. And that's the entire point of all my jokes, is to annoy them so that they start drinking Captain Morgan.
So it's kind of like how when I talk to you guys,
Yeah.
you just do anything to annoy me, to piss me off.
Precisely. Yeah. Yeah.
And now you know how Jake thinks.
Yes. Now, for everybody, if you're wondering why the other two guys ain't here for tonight, Jake, he's working on a couple of other little things at the moment, as these guys told me before we started recording. And Anthony has actually had a baby, so he's on paternity leave. So I'm not allowed to harass him for at least another 2.5 months.
Call it like 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, just start texting him, you know.
And as soon as that timer is up, you can guarantee I'm going to harass.
As you should.
As
you
I should.
Someone needs to.
Your first role in editing this piece is just to pull all the ant bits out and then send it to him individually and say, "Fuck you." Love you, Ant. Love you, Jake. Love you, Mauricio.
He would probably laugh. He'd
Yeah,
probably
he would.
text.
He would.
He'd probably text all of us and be like, "Who's texting me this shit?"
I'll tell you
Actually,
what.
you should-
when I do the
you should
editing,
have-
I'll give you this. I'll give you the bits that I edit out for Anthony and for Jake, and you can just bombard them every time that those two piss you off. You've got a little something there. Go, oh, this bit or this bit.
You know,
actually
you know
would
what
be
you
funny.
should do. You know that website Cameo where people pay like celebrities to say
Yes.
like happy birthday and stuff. Okay, you should do one for each of them, but just be really mean. Just give them a hell of a time for not showing up, and then we'll just text that to them.
You know, I was actually thinking of setting something like that up soon as well. So
But
There you go.
You should have Panda do it because they know you. They don't know Panda yet. They only Keen and I have access to our Instagram.
that is fucking true. Panda, you down?
You look at my eyes, it gets even weirder.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Just scare the shit out of them.
Yeah, Panda, you down for that? When these two guys go, we will just chat shit about Jake and Anthony for like an hour, and then I'll edit all that out into snippets for these two to send to the rest of the band when they piss them off.
Yeah, it's perfect. Oh, and
Yeah.
we have one more. We actually added a new member to our band since we last spoke.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we have a full-time drummer now, a legit drummer.
An actual drummer?
Yeah, it's nice. His name's Mauricio, so you got to make some content for him and make him feel not welcome.
Make some content.
Make some
some-
content.
It's getting real.
You use that
OnlyFans-y in
term
here.
very loosely. Make some
Yeah.
content for
Yeah.
the drummer
Somebody
because you know my feelings for drummers. Kurt, why are you
Make-
showing your tit?
Lawrence,
It's
we're gonna
content.
It's content.
It's
Content.
content.
With a U.
It's
Oh my
content.
Yeah, it's
like-
content.
yeah, content. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. Oh my fucking days.
That sounds like branding right there.
Yeah, Brandon. Yeah, content. Huh?
Serious one. Have you guys actually got cool copies of CDs? Do you have merch and a website and that?
We have a website. We're working on our first batch of merch right now, hoping to have that all printed before our show in February. CDs and vinyl we held off on because of all the supply chain stuff. It was it was basically impossible, right, to get it. And then by the time we got it, it would be
We'd be
6
done with
months
our
later.
second album, you know.
Yeah, so we kind of held off on that, but I've designed all that stuff. So like when it makes sense to do it, we probably will do it because I know like all of us would like to have that stuff just to have it as mementos. But yeah, t-shirts are definitely happening. We're making some new little keychains.
I want one.
We've got stickers, we've got buttons, we've got all kinds of, you know.
Big shout out to
show
our
merch.
really close friend Natasha. She is incredible at merch. If you need something done, she may not say yes because she is like super hands-on and like takes her time with it and like makes it perfect. But she is incredible at what she does, and she like figures all this out from scratch, like with no prior knowledge of a new project. She's like, I'm gonna make this and I'm just gonna figure it out. And she just made Ant, and Ant will receive it by then. So I know I'm spoiling it for her, but by the time this episode comes out, he will have received it. She made him a baby blanket with all Protect Your Heart stuff embroidered into the baby blanket, which is super cool.
Sweet. That is so sweet. I like that. And I'll tell you what, I'll do you guys a deal as well because I like you guys. When I get around to actually creating the website for A Wee Touch of Madness, I will host your merch on my store. All I will ask is a small kickback on the sales.
Done deal.
So that way we can both grow.
Yeah, you'll market to a different group
Yeah.
than we would. So that works out really well.
affiliated to Madness Records, but I am quite happy to pay for a whole package, T-shirt, 2 CDs, badges. I'm willing to pay for that because you're an up-and-coming band. I'm a low as myself, and I know the struggle. I used to do metal and nearly got signed and stuff, so I know the struggle and stuff. So I'm paying you guys. I know I've got you on Instagram. Once you got things sorted, I'll definitely buy a whole pack off you.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you.
That means a lot, man.
He's not just saying that as well. I've seen this guy drop down at least £200-300 worth of merch on a single fucking day. So
Wild.
he's not joking when he says that. And
Locals as well. I like to support people who believe it. That's the thing.
People that have been close enough to understanding what a band process is like, and that the start to finish struggle, it's really nice to once you recognize that, you're like, how could I not support somebody who's an up and comer? Even if I don't even like their music that much, I'll still buy the ticket. I'll still buy the merch because I know the absolute difference it makes. Because a couple of orders could be the difference between a band doing a tour and not doing a tour. Like, the little things make such a big difference.
That's something that a lot of people out there don't realize, is that if you don't support your local bands, if you don't support your local content creators, your local musicians, eventually they will go away, because without your support, they have no way of carrying on their art and their craft for you people out there to enjoy. So go down to your local pub or your local club on a Friday, Saturday night when there's live music playing. Go see the local acts that are playing. You may not like the music at first, but I can guarantee by the end of the night, you'll have an absolute fucking an amazing time. Some of the best bands that I follow, that I listen to now, they just started off as a little band in my local pub on a Friday night. And I absolutely fucking, in fact, I'm actually going to be having one of those bands on the show in the next few weeks.
Hell yeah.
A local band of guys that I grew up with who've got their own band now. I've been following their music since they started.
Fucking name drop them. I want to support them too.
That's a cool thing. Like, even the show that we're playing at the Viper Room, like, everyone on it, like, we're genuinely fans of them. Like, I've been listening to all those bands for the last couple weeks, like when I'm driving, when I'm doing anything, because it's like, just because they're not, on radio or on a curated Spotify playlist or on, popping off on YouTube or what, like, it doesn't mean that they're not just as good as the people that are doing that. It just means that they haven't gotten the exposure or the lucky break or the financial support or whatever that these other people have. There's so many artists out there that are like mind-bogglingly good. And it's just like, they haven't gotten in front of enough people yet.
Yeah.
So it's,
and I think a lot of people don't recognize, like, just as casual fans, they see bands just do stuff and they're like, oh, they must have just written this song in a few hours. They must have just recorded this in a couple hours. Probably rehearsed once. Like, they just don't give them enough credit for the effort put in. That
people don't.
A song that comes out, sometimes a song takes a year to finish and record, and sometimes that's several $1,000s for a song. Sometimes the music video is $4 or $5 grand. Like, you don't know the gear they've had to purchase, the 10 years they put into their craft to mastering it just good enough to make this song. And like, when they play a show, anybody in the audience that knows even one word, you don't realize that they're going to remember that for a year or two. Like, I remember playing a show and there was like 3 people standing in front of the stage and then like 100 people standing in the back not paying attention. And those 3 people that paid attention, I remember everything that they got excited about. I connected with them, and that's what I remember for like 5 years from now. Like, and that's so important. You don't realize the impact you make.
It's just a lot like your album reintroduction. I mean, I know, like, from the last time you guys were on, you were just talking about getting it started again and trying to get it out there. And so I know how long that took, because that took fucking years to do and get together and finally get out there. And that's the thing that people don't understand, the process that actually goes in. I mean, obviously, everybody at home, that I also co-run Madness Records, the music label, what this podcast is hosted on. This podcast is my baby. This is my project. The artists we have on our label, the music that they do is their baby. It's their projects, what they do. This is so I can feel like I'm contributing. but people don't realize the hard work that goes into it. I mean, I've got to source the guests, I've got to get the questions, I've got to do the research, I've got to have a bit of banter, I've got to be nice. Ugh. And then there's the editing process, which can sometimes take me up to almost an entire week to do the editing, to finally releasing it out there. And I do it all myself.
Yeah. And same with us. Like, we do everything except for being behind the camera at a music video shoot. We do everything else ourselves. And that's a lot of work. Sometimes you work 60 hours at your normal job, and then you have to come to this and still be excited, still be creative, still put aside all the other stresses you have, and like come up with something that you're proud of. And sometimes you just don't want to, but you have to. You just have to keep the thing going. And that's and sometimes you're broke and you still got to pay $2,000 for the music video that you gotta put out on the timeline you set for yourself. So it's like, yeah, I can't stand in an audience and not be in awe of whoever's on stage, because I know what it took to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, even just standing on a stage, like, you know, if for the uninitiated who have never performed in front of anyone before, like, that's not easy to do.
It's
even
hard.
if you play horribly, it's not easy to do, to just go up there and put yourself kind of in that spotlight and like, I guess, you know, have to do this thing that in and of itself takes a lot of time to learn and get good at. And you do that in the, you know, the comfort of silence by yourself, no one around. And then all of a sudden you're standing in front of, you know, even if it's 20 people, it's nerve wracking, it's difficult. And then, you know, in the band context, you got to play in coordination with 4, 5, 6, 7 other people that maybe you get to do that once a week. And so like, how good can you really be in like a 3-hour rehearsal? And so, yeah, there's, I think a lot of people, you know, music has become a commodity. And that's, you know, it's a blessing and a curse of the internet, right? Is because it's so easily accessible, and the wealth of music pretty much exists on the internet. Like, people can go one listen and never hear that song again if they don't want to. And because of that, you know, it becomes disposable to a degree. Like the amount of work and effort and thought and money and energy that goes into creating that one song you listen to once, like,
well, most people may not even listen to it past the intro. Like, it's unfortunate, but the truth is a lot of people listen to music subconsciously. They just skip it once they realize they don't like something about it. And they're like, if I'm not constantly hooked in, then you won't even get me for the first, you past 30 seconds. You might be lucky for that. And let alone all the other songs that you've crafted on a record, I may never even hear, because I get short attention span. There are other things calling my attention that are more exciting right now. And I'm not going to spend more than the exact amount of time that it takes for me to figure out if I like it or not. And if I'm not completely bought in so many seconds, I just click to the next. And that's unfortunate.
I understand that. One thing I will say on the whole people is, even if you don't like a band, buy a CD, buy a t-shirt, gift it to a friend. Because 9 times out of 10, the low artists that aren't working, that's how they make their money. That's how they get to the next gig. That's how they eat.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
On that really, really fucking serious note, we are going to be ending the show very, very soon. So, Kurt, do you have anything else you would like to add and ask these guys?
One thing. In a couple of songs, I've noticed your vocal style. What Loz classes as early style. There's a band who I know and grown up with which got quite big in America, which I think you guys would be amazing on tour with, and they're called Deaf Havana.
Who?
Deaf Havana.
Deaf Havana. I'm gonna check them out.
They've grown from the area for years, and they got big, and now they're coming back to be.
Do you have a song you recommend?
Just like all their stuff.
Hell yeah! I just saved Nevermind and Fever and Trigger. I'm gonna jam out soon.
With my friend's band that I was talking about earlier, I will send you a link to their music in your Instagram, because I don't want to spoil it for when they come on the show. Because I'm pretty much in a way going to be the first ones to be exposing them out there to an audience with their first interview since being a band. So
And I was like stoked.
quite
Like I'm like
exciting.
name drop them on the show, so then they get even more exposure. Like I'm down to share. it,
I'm
you
not.
know?
I'm not going to name drop them on the show because I don't want to ruin the surprise for everybody.
Hell yeah.
But I will send you the link to their music in your Instagram later, so you can take a little listen. Now, on that note, guys, we are just about to finish. So, are you ready for my super serious question that I've actually spent the last 10 minutes thinking about?
Oh, that's why you've been so quiet.
That's why I've been so quiet. I spent the last 10 minutes trying to think of this fucking question on how to top the shower question.
I'm waiting on the edge of my seat.
Okay, you should be, because unlike my shower question, which I know no one else will ask because they're pussies, I can definitely 1,000% guarantee no one will ask this because they just do not have the balls and they don't want to get cancelled. Me, I don't give a shit. Okay?
Bring it.
What would be your life's theme tune that every time you're about to get horny?
Peaches. What's the name of it? What's the name of it? I forget.
It's cause she be sucking on my titties
Like you wanted me.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
great.
shit.
Great.
No, so we were writing over at Jake's house before we were going to play one of our shows, and we were trying to come up with vocal melodies together, and someone just I think it was you, Matt, or someone just started saying that. So now, like, every single session we have, that's how we're coming up with the vocals, is just using the lines from that song.
Yeah,
It was
I
at a Jaker,
honestly did not know how that question was going to go down because I was kind of stumbling trying to fucking think of it and come and bring it out. So I was actually surprised it went down really well.
Hey man, we got it. We got it under control. No, it's just it's hilarious to like hear some like metal riffs and chugs and shit, and then we're all sitting in the room sucking on my titties like you wanted me, guys. Oh man,
fuck me. Right.
that's an old school DJ throwback.
Okay.
If you really want to see a funny version of that, type in Mikey Boosh, fuck the paid away, and then the
Yeah.
called Bollo Talks that does it on stage.
Oh
Man,
right, and on that unfortunate note, which has now made my ears bleed, thank you guys. on that note, it is time for us to end the show for today. It has been an absolute fucking privilege having you guys back on the show, and from the moment that this episode is released on the 19th of January, it would actually be exactly 1 year since I last had you on the show. How fucking mental is that, eh? Exactly,
so dope.
1 fucking year. So, in the meantime, everybody, if you've enjoyed the show, please make sure you give a like and a subscribe, because that will help me out and it'll help me bring out more content for you guys out there, and it will put me in the algorithms for more people out there to watch the show. If you like the content, if you don't like the content, just put a like up anyway and leave a little comment down just to say what you hated about what I did. If you really like these guys, you can check out their music. All of their links will be down in the description below, so you can check them out, and I highly suggest that you do. And if you want these guys back on the show in the future, please let me know, and I will try and endeavor my best to get all of them on, even the new drummer. Ugh, drummers.
Shout out Mauricio.
Ugh, fucking drummers, simple-minded people. I will endeavor to get the entire group back on the show very, very soon. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed your time with us, and I hope to see you all again for the next episode. See you later.